Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. I had to get that part out, but I want to give an apology to y'all. Some of the videos I did not watch, and LinkedIn order had threw me off the air for that because I know each and every one of the platforms, how they work. Like Facebook is PG 13, LinkedIn is PG, YouTube, maybe you can get by depending on what you put on there. Twitch, anything can go on there. Twitter is rated R. Anything can go on there. So I wanted to apologize for the thing that said Trump girl, because I'm not Trump girl, but I was rooting for him as president. I love Melanie. I am and Ivanka. I am not trying to be nowhere. I'm not that girl. The only reason I wore it is because I feel in my heart that he's a good president, and everything was good when he was president. I was doing good. I was banking $100,000 a year. So I wore that not as his girlfriend, but as girl. So I just wanted to say I apologize. You know, he's a great person, but he has a wife and he has children, and I'm not a wife. I'm not a invader of privacy type thing where I sit up there and try to do something with him in that way. It wasn't like that, and it wasn't intended for that. It was rooting for Republicans and all. So I shut it down. I shut down the whole segment because even Joe Rogan was cussing and everything. So I was like, you know what? No, that's not my cup of tea no more. And I don't want to get my LinkedIn page taken away because I have a lot of people I want to interview. Sorry, LinkedIn. Sorry, you guys, that y'all had to see that. We're going to do this the right way, though. We're about to talk about Phil Schneider and Bob Lazar the right way. First, we're going to watch a documentary that's very hard to find. It was in 95. I was 10 years old, and we're going to watch it. And you're going to see what this gentleman saw, and I'm going to tell you what happened to him after he made this video. So let's do it the right way. Mind you, this video is very hard to come by. You type in his name, a whole bunch of other people done segments on him, and that's it. I had to really research. It says Phil Schneider has 17 years experience working in the government, Black projects, carrying a level 3 security clearance. That must be a very high security clearance. Formerly as government geologist and engineer, he worked in the Black projects underground bases at Area 51, S4, and Los Alamos. He co-invented methods used to in shape charge explosives research to facilitate the building of underground military bases as well as submarine bases. Phil is one of only 3 survivors of the now infamous alien-human war at Dulce, New Mexico, and Los Alamos underground bases where 66 government agents and workers lost their lives in August of 1979.
You're in for a treat. Phil Schneider has 17 years experience working in the government Black projects. He carried a level 3 security clearance. He's a former government geologist and engineer in the Black projects, underground bases at areas 51, S4, and Los Alamos. He's going to expand your mind here this morning. Please welcome Mr. Phil Schneider.
I'm Phil Schneider. I spent 17 years in Black budget programs, government geologist, as engineer, structural engineer with aerospace applications. Self-taught metallurgist, became kind of famous in my own right. I basically would have a set of notes here, but they're unavailable. All this melee. Up here I have different artifacts explaining some of them are alien metals that have been produced both on this planet and the confines of outer space that are now used in all stealth aircraft. All stealth aircraft, for instance, all black jets, what you're seeing of black helicopters and the like, the skins and the coatings and the residues that are used predominantly in the aircraft themselves, in the airframes and the rotor blades and the fans, and in some cases in submarines, special titanium hulls, in the Phoenix class submarines now. All this has come from alien technology. 1947 is what the public has been told. Something crashed in the backyard in New Mexico, a place called Roswell, New Mexico. Unfortunately, that's what the public's been told. The military's known about the alien question for the better part of 70 years, and they first saw their glimpse of what was going on as early as 1909 in the American Southwest. Army cavalry evidently were chasing some bandits, and they entered this cave. They were holed up in a cave, and what they found in there was flying discs and little gray guys and all kinds of weird things, and they didn't know how to explain that, and they wrote them down as best they could, and it's been in secret archives ever since. That's something down by the Truth and Consequences area of New Mexico. Well, the alien thing is more than just what I'd call a non-visible threat. We on the surface, first of all information dealing with alien or alien reproduced technology or alien reproduced vehicles or any other kinds of things well hidden from the American public. Our black budget, for instance, garners 1.8 $0.023 trillion every 2 years. It's over $500 billion a year. Right now, there are 131 active deep underground military bases in the United States. There's 1,477 of them worldwide. Each one has an average cost of 17 to 19 billion dollars. Each one is built in the site. It used to be it'd take a year to 2 years to build each one, and now they're capable of building a couple of them a year with sophisticated methods. My colleague Al Bielik has actually been on some of the high-speed railways, the magneto-leviton trains that connect all the deep underground military bases within the United States. He's been on a Mach 2 train and floats off a single rail at 3/4 of an inch off the rail, and is what you'd call high tech. We have nothing like this on the surface. The public basically has been totally lied to. They're considered stupid or even moronic in some cases. It's got to stop. If we're going to gain our country back, we must, and I repeat, must instill in our public officials, anybody that goes and does public service, they must tell us the truth. And if they cannot do this, then they must be impeached, or they must be removed from office. If this cannot occur, if the truth cannot totally come out, there are reasons for secrecy, for instance, but if the truth cannot totally come out, what's the use in us having anything called freedom? Okay, now I have pictures here that I'm going to show you during the break in artifacts, and I ask you to kind of look at them but not handle them. I have actual crashed retriever metal from Roswell, New Mexico. It's given to me when I was 14 years old. For instance, I've got other things. I've got pieces of titanium, a special titanium alloy made for everything from the original SR-71 Blackberry. That's old hat now. F-117A is their old hat now. They're making a whole new class of hypersonic above Mach 5 aircraft that employ extremely modern charged particle beam weapons. They don't even use lasers anymore. Computer-enhanced imaging radar, although it's used in helicopters for public surveillance, computer-enhanced imaging radar, and in satellite technology. The brand new kid on the block is a kind of infrared technology where a satellite at 150,000 miles out in a geosynchronous orbit, or not quite geosynchronous orbit, but these spy satellites can literally look in and see a dime on the floor, say on your kitchen floor. They have a resolution factor of 99.999961. This particular piece of metal, I'm going to drop it on the floor here, it'll kind of ring like a bell. You can't break it. Withstand temperatures in excess of 7,500 degrees Fahrenheit. It has niobium in it. It also has mironite in it, element 123. Yeah, please do.
I'm sorry.
It's in a non-crystalline form. This is just kind of a dripping out of the main crucible. Here's a crystalline example. It's in the scalenohedral crystalline form. We got this from the large grays technology. This is grown in the confines of outer space, which has not quite a super vacuum, but by the way, this is capable of withstanding temperatures in excess of 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. It's great for certain parts of aircraft. This kind of material I work with on a daily basis. Up here we have a transparency of Groom Lake. Groom Lake is where the infamous Area 51, S4, S2, a CIA base, it was originally a bombing range, a nuclear test site. It was later become the most secret base in the United States. It employs over 18,000 workers who work in shifts of 12 hours at a whack. Most of them work in the cover of darkness, like us. We built 9 underground military bases there, each with an average capacity capable of basically a city underground, roughly 4.25 cubic miles hollowed out underground. They have boring machines, for instance. They don't bore, they literally vitrify and melt the rock, deflagrate the rock. It's a very sophisticated laser melting and deflagrating system. It reduces the rock to a powder and then melts the remaining rock as a coating on the inside of the base, so you don't have to use gunite, cements, and other kinds of things like that. That's all old hat now. Technology is just basically the new technology we get is the old hat of the military. I'm going to be real brief about it. I carried a level 1 security clearance, the Riley 38 Factor. There are very few of us. There's nobody except myself, to my knowledge, talking like this. Nobody. I'm breaking the law. I'm breaking world as well as federal law, coming out and even talking about this to a group of people. I love my country more than I love my life. 2 weeks ago, I was shot in the shoulder. I don't want to gore you women out, but I was shot in the shoulder up here. I recently have become friends of a retired FBI agent who took me under the wing. He says, I've never seen a person braver than you. And I said, well, there's more coming. Our patriot movement in these United States are going to pick up the ball, and we are going to kick the parasites out.
I disagree with that part. Real quick, I disagree with it because I feel like maybe they're coming here because their planet isn't surviving. Let me say this real quick. Okay. Like I said in my last chapter, who is watching the White House? We have a telescope that can reach far distances. And that if we invade the wrong and investigate the wrong planet that's more advanced than us, yes, I say kick those aliens out. But what about the aliens that are hundreds of years behind us, struggling? That's what I do. That's why I don't agree with everything he say, but he is very smart and intelligent, and listen to his story.
First of all, George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, a few other founding fathers, Patrick Henry to mention a few, all had visions that these United States is going to live 700 years from where they were standing, and that was somewhere around the late 1700s, early 1800s. So you can count this country. This country isn't going to go to a new world order. I believe firmly in constitutional law. I'm not very well skilled in it, and that's my embarrassment. But I'm going to be real blunt about it. The government that is now instilled in ruling over us are ruling as we're serfs and they're the kings and queens. Now, that's a feudal system. That isn't even a democracy. We are now being ruled by an autocracy and a technocracy. In other words, technical knowledge is rules as king with a feudal type system. Feudal systems haven't been used in the last 350 years, and they're coming back like gangbusters. If we are complacent, if we do not speak out in droves, and I'm not just talking about me, I'm talking about a bunch of us getting together and getting on the stump and loving our country more than we love our lives, getting on, some of us are going to get killed. I almost got killed a couple of weeks ago. Hadn't been for an FBI, a retired FBI man.
That's why I love the FBI. You know, you got some good FBI agents and some bad FBI agents. Out of 35,000 traditionally placed agents. It's 35,000 of them. Look it up. And you got some good, some bad, some Democrats, some Republicans, some good, some bad. And I believe they watch over me based on my controversy, what I used to talk about back in the day. I have reason to believe they don't engage with me. They just watch over me. They don't engage because they know I'm smart enough to know if they're an agent or not. I'm not stupid. So, yeah.
Risk his life, his career, everything, put it all on the line, and he didn't know me from Adam. A week prior to that, he listened to one of my tapes I gave up in Post Falls, Idaho, and I'm going to be very blunt about. He said that we need a lot more of you, but unfortunately we're not getting anybody. Well, I'm not the best speaker in the world, but I'm trying to relay to you that we need to get out and seriously get the message out. These shows are great. This hall should be absolutely packed, standing room only, and we should be getting the message out to as many people as we can with as many shows as is it possibly to reach as the public. We got to get on talk shows. We've got to get on news shows and TV shows, and we have to really get the message out. And I think we're doing it, but it's a little bit slow in the first part. That's just that part of what I want to say.
Do you see his hand, y'all? If y'all can see his hand, watch. There's a story behind why his hand is messed up.
In working with the Black Projects, I was very loyal. I was picked because I was very strong mentally. There's a bunch of us that were picked because we don't crack under pressure. We don't freak under pressure, so to speak. Everyday events don't bother us. Now, I was involved in something very controversial, almost totally unbelievable to most of you. Some of you are religious people. I think all religions have a time and a place, and they definitely have a place in America. Now, another thing I want to reach to you is that during the unbelievable part, I was involved in building another base inside of Dulce, New Mexico, which is Los Alamos Laboratory. It's a biological laboratory. On the southwest part of the Archuleta Mesa, we built an underground facility, better part of 3 cubic miles hauled out underground. Then to the southwest of that, we were in the process of the early stages of building. We drilled 4 large tunnel-like holes. Some of them ran 2.5 miles under the surface. Number of the original wells or drilling machines that were used were at the rate of 2 miles a day. It was fairly rapid. The equipment kept coming up broken, so we wanted to go down at once.
Every president that has been president that's still alive today, any high-end, super high-end celebrity has a bunker, they call it, and it's underground. They dig underground so that they can have a home-like structure with air. It has air from abundance. It has food that'll last years. It has heat. It has water. It has everything you need to survive down there. Even Trump has one. They were talking about it on the news one day. It briefly came on. Not many people watched.
Send somebody down there, a human observer, or human observers in this case, to find out what was going on. Well, to our total surprise, first of all, the government knew all about it. They didn't tell anybody. When I saw Green Beret and Black Beret people encamped inside of our geologist camp, I knew something was up. The gig was up. First of all, I knew all about the alien agenda. I'll explain that in a few minutes. The large alien grays had been encamped there for, as best as believed possible, about 400 or 500 years. It had been one of their internal bases. And we drilled holes right on top of it. All the stinking air, all the black sooty air came right out as soon as the first hole was sunk, and all this soot came up. And well, that's when all the hell broke loose, really, all started. Anyway, after we drilled all 4 holes, it took about 2 days to drill all 4 of them. And when you build an underground base, you drill 4 basic holes, and you build called stopes or cross-member holes across, and then you use blasting equipment and special blasting equipment by the analyzation of the rock formation, and you literally blast out or tunnel out or deflagrate or melt rock out to build the large rooms that are required for this underground base. Well, in this process, I was lowered down the basket of one of these holes, and about from me to this elderly woman here in the front was sitting a 7-foot tall alien gray. The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. The person the entity was absolutely horrible. I didn't waste any time to reach for my pistol. At that time, as an engineer, I didn't have time to carry all the Folderol of one of these big submachine guns that all the sea spray and the yellow fruit and all the outer perimeter and inner perimeter security people carried. I carried a little Walther PPK pistol with a 9-shot clip. This is in late August of 1979. Now, you got a regular suit of clothes, you got a regular clothes on, plus you're in almost like a spacesuit environment, and you're reaching for a gun. It's not the easiest thing to do, and then to pop a clip in it and start shooting. And I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal, and they do die. However, in the process, one of them did this. All I remember is that he just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish, and burnt my fingers right off of me. And it was some form of electrical force, because the kind of like being hit by a lightning bolt burned all my toenails off of me. Completely crispy crittered my left foot, burnt the shoe right off of me. All I remember is the smoking remains, and I'm still conscious, but in and out of, I didn't remember much. And there was a Green Beret that was right behind me that risked his life. In fact, he died. But he risked his life. He shoved me back in the basket and hit the button and took me up. And I wouldn't be alive talking to you today if it wasn't for him. I'm forever indebted. He lost his life. 66 Secret Service agents, Green Berets, Black Berets, crack troops lost their lives because the government, our United States government, lied, did not tell us anything about the alien threat. There's a war underneath there, and I'm talking dead serious. It's been going on since that time. Since late August of 1979, our military, the Russian military, basically the militaries of the world, have been in constant conflict with the outer space alien. The small gray, the large gray, the reptilians, the whole thing. There are 11 distinct races of aliens. 2 are benevolent. 1 had to leave here in a hurry because their world is under attack, both on the surface as well as underground. There, the Pleiadians. Maybe some of you are familiar with that. Would some of you raise your hands have heard of Billy Meyer and some of the, very good, about half the group. Well, Billy Meyer is one of these lucky people that they figured, well, he's kind of a simple type, we'll show him everything. These are the benevolent aliens, and they've been here helping us. In fact, I have a picture, let me reach for it here. I have a picture of one of the aliens been working for the United States Pentagon for the last 58 years. His name is Val Valiant 4. He's right here. There's my father in the background. This whole place, the ready room of the USS Eldridge, Al Bielica has probably explained, or maybe even shown you this picture. There's a list of some of the notable people in it. And they're all the atomic bomb scientists of the day, all the time variant experimentalists of the day, all the top physicists of that particular day. This was in August of 1943. Now, this guy has not changed one iota in 58 years. Started work, he came here, crashed here or whatever, whether he's under duress or not. He started work for our U.S. Navy and military operations in 1937, either 37 or 38 is what I've been told. So it's for 58 years, this man's been employed, probably under duress. If you don't do as we say, we're just going to use you for alien bait or something. I don't know.
So I wanted to talk about aliens. Like I said, like 500 years behind. Just imagine another planet 500 years behind us. We find that planet. They have something we want, which is probably like a new energy source, and then we and that can give us energy and help them too with our energy. We go to that planet and we become friends. Then you have those planets that you spy on them, and they have so much advanced technology, more advanced than us. Forget artificial intelligence. That's just the baby of what's to come for the future. Artificial intelligence ain't got nothing on what's going to come in the future. So imagine us trying to spy, use our telescope to spy and our technology to spy on an advanced civilization. They get mad. Thus, in turn, they see what we have to offer, and thus they come to our planet and demand, because it should be, they have a certain clause between, they have an actual law. Once you hit all the spheres, I don't know all the spheres by heart, the hemisphere, atmosphere, and all the spheres, it's like several of them. You have a law that you have to have a license in order to go out of space, like come in from outer space and go outer space. There's a law. It's the interstellar law. And Area 51, they moved their people probably underground to a different center because there's so many bases, but it's a law. I feel bad for the aliens that's housed here because they have to move around and they have to be underground and get treated with no respect. And they just imagine living underground for life. You're living underground for giving your technology to Earth, and Earth is just letting you live underground. Even though it's more advanced underground, just imagine that. You don't get to see the sky, or maybe they made up a sky. Who knows what's down there? But it's just that so many different aspects of outer space. I think that we could be able to help a lot of people. What would you do if you saw an alien? You know what Phil Schneider did. He shot one, and he shot the right non-benevolent alien. But what would you do if you saw a benevolent alien walking down the street with headphones on? What would you do? Would you shoot him? Would you try to rob him? Would you try to take him and harbor him and, treat him like an animal where he's on display? What would you do? We're not ready yet. We're not ready yet to see an alien because people would do bad and it will be an all-out full-fledged war. And this was in 95. He died. Just to let you know about Phil Schneider, he died. He got shot in the head. And his wife believed it was a setup. To today, she believed it was a setup. That what happened was he got caught with his hand on a gun and got shot. She believed that the crooked part of the government did this to him because he was on his way to another convention and people were starting to listen, and they claimed he shot himself in the head. Brilliant, smart man with special clearances. He got to see so many aliens. I'll say this and then I'll let it play for like 10 more minutes because the other stuff is basic, basically relevant but irrelevant. You can watch it on your own time. I want to say that Phil Schneider was a brilliant man. He was a wonderful man who told us his story about artifacts from different outer space places. He told us about benevolent aliens. He told us everything. And he's been on it like Bob Lazar is another one. Bob Lazar, he was working at Area 51 and helped. That's why I had it on the Joe Rogan Experience, because he was talking at first about building this new technology. What happened was, this is the story he gave us. Hold on for a second. Let me talk about it for a second. So Bob Lazar was approached by a government official who told him he wanted to see him on his project because he had his bachelor's in engineering or master's in engineering, either or. I'm not sure the whole story, but here it goes. So he went there. He said he spent the whole day filling out paperwork. It was a stack of paperwork. He signed his life away. And they took him to this room. The first person that had this project, it was an alien spacecraft. The first person that had this project died because he hit the wrong button and it blew energy at him and he died immediately. Now, Bob Lazar was the second person, and this spacecraft had a special place where it harbors, you know how everything, a car has an engine and a battery. Well, they were looking for the energy source to this particular spacecraft, and he found it. And he said that what happened and what made everything go left was he brought his friends to Area 51 and showed them what was happening, and he got caught. So then when he tried to say, hey, I work for the government said, we have no recollection of him. He's never worked for us. And that's in one basic nutshell what happened with Bob Lazar. Until today, he still speaks on shows like the Joe Rogan Experience and everything. And I appreciate Bob Lazar, like seriously. He was in the 80s, early 90s with his, and then they had the Illuminati game. They had the Illuminati game that came out. And the Illuminati game had a couple of pieces of the puzzle, like they had the Twin Towers, and the Twin Towers were getting crashed in by something, like it was a prophecy. And it was another artifact that was special with the Illuminati game, but I forgot what it was. But you have to check out the Illuminati game for all you young whippersnappers and all you people that don't know about it. Check out Bob Lazar on the Joe Rogan Experience, and check out Phil Schneider. Three great people. The Illuminati card game. The Illuminati card game was about political. It was political. I'm very good with numbers, but I'm no mathematician like Noah Healy, but I'm going to show you something. All of y'all, if y'all can, get a pencil and a piece of paper, because this is about to blow your mind. I can't wait to show you this. And even if I don't show you, rewind the tape and watch this part. So, what was the first thing that came out? Remember Y2K? Y2K, right? So we got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. That's 20. U, V, W, X, Y. That's 25. 5 plus 2 is 7. So Y is 25, which is 7. 2 plus 2 is 9. K is 11. That's 9, 11. So then we had 9/11. We had, okay, so we got Y2K, which is 9/11, but if you break 9 down to its lowest odd element, that's 3/11. So then you got 9/11, which happened in 2000. 2001. And I gotta hurry up. My MacBook is about to cut off. That's 9/11 again, which is 3/11. And all these major events that happen equals 3/11 or 9/11. It's crazy, ain't it? It's very crazy. Yeah. Crazy. I know numbers. Like, look it up. The famous guy who wrote the Bible, I'll say this and then I'm gonna get off of here because my stuff is about to fail, cut off, and I gotta get to my charger, and then we'll do schoolwork. But the famous guy who wrote the Bible, he died on 3/11, but it wasn't 3/11. It equals to 3/11. But he wrote the Bible. They didn't want him to finish the Bible, so they burnt it. They didn't burn the Bible, but they burnt him and hung him. And this was like in the 14 or 1500s, the American writer that wrote the Bible. I forgot his name. But yeah, man, it goes deep. It's a lot of stuff that's not, coming out and needs to come out about the truth about what's going on. Phil Schneider gave up his life, and I'm willing to give up my life too, to tell the truth about what's been going on. Seriously. I was born July 3rd, 1984. This is really going to kick you off. Y'all probably going to be like, in button real quick. I was born 7/3/84, right? I turned 37. I'm 39 now, but I turned 37 on 7/3. That's mirror images. I think that accounts for a lot. I think that really shows that I'm a special person, whether I am or not, and do your own math. It's pretty fun, but add up go from A equal 1, B equal 2, C equal 3, D equal 4, all the way to 26 or 25 letters, 26 letters. And then add up goddess, GODDESS. I'm just going to ask you to add it up. It's on you what you find. Add it up carefully, though. Look up the word goddess. Add up G equals 7, O equals such and such, D equal 4, D equal 4, E equal 5, SS. I don't know all the numbers. But it's funny. It's fun, It's real funny. So you take care, y'all. I'll be back on here to talk about something other than that because it gets deep. It gets very deep. So remember, Y2K is 3/11, which is 9/11. And 9/11 is 3/11. Siri, one last thing. Siri, I'm not talking to you right now. Oh my God. It turned on Doja Cat. No, you ask Siri what the name is when she was born, or he was born, or it was born, and Siri will say 10/4. 10/4. It's so crazy. So let me go ahead and charge my phone. I'm hungry. I want some yogurt. I want a sandwich or a hot dog or something with chili and cheese like Sonic. Remember Sonic, chili cheese dog, always eating those? That's me. Okay. I'll be back on here in the next 15 minutes.